Now, if your data size is large, you are going to put it in the class interval. You are going to group the data. Those grouping is called class interval. So we will see in this session how do we calculate mean using and median mean using how are you going to calculate the mean, because generally you use sum of observation by number of observation for the ungrouped data, but here there will be one formula. Then for the group data, how to calculate the mean. Then median using cumulative graph, you will see that how to calculate median, and you will find out how to identify the modal class. Here you cannot find out the mode particular value, but you will get from among the class interval, you will get it the modal class. So here how can you find out? Now the question arises, how can we find out the measure of central tendency? Again, mean, median and modal class from a group to frequency distribution table. Now group to frequency distribution table, what is that? How are we going to calculate? I'll explain you along with one example. Now the second part, it says how can you represent group data in cumulative frequency curve? This you are going to use it for median, because whenever we are talking about cumulative frequency curve, it's always median. So whenever your data size is large, it is often convenient to organize the data into groups before doing any statistical analysis. Now here you should know, whenever there are the groups, first thing, there can be here two types of groups here. Now what are those two types of groups? It can be here continuous groups. Here, this is again very important part. Generally you get continuous groups, but if you did not have continuous groups, that means if you are having non-continuous groups, how are you going to consider that? Non-continuous groups. So what is the difference between these type of groups? If I say again, these are the groups, means we are talking about here class intervals, right? Now if you are having class interval, if I say I'm talking about the marks here, if I'm considering the marks in the different interval, right? So if I say here, if I'm taking here 10 to 20, then here 20 to 30, then here 30 to 40. What does that mean here? The upper limit is excluded. So if I'm writing this value, so any marks, if it is x, that means if I'm writing x which is less than 20 but it is greater than equals to 10, that means the lower limit is included but the upper limit is excluded here, because the upper limit will go as the lower limit in the next interval. Right, here I can take one more here, 40 to 50. So any test is there where here the marks are given here in this interval. So this is what is the meaning of continuous groups here. Whenever whatever the upper limit of one interval becomes the lower limit of the another interval. So here it is less than 30. So you can see that less than 30 means you cannot include 30 in the second interval. Then here 30 less than x is less than 40. Again 40 is excluded from the third interval, but 40 will be included in the fourth interval. Right. So this is called continuous groups, and whenever we are taking any kind of graph, we are going to consider continuous groups. Now what is the meaning of non-continuous groups if I am considering here? So same marks, if the marks are written in this form 10 to 19, then here 20 to 29, then here it is 30 to 39, right? And here it is 40 to 49. In this case, how are the marks X are going to be considered? This means, because here there is a gap, you can see here it is 19, but this is here starting with 20. This means 10 and 19 both are included in the same interval, right? So here if I'm taking this, 20 is also included in this one and 29 also. Here 30 is included, both 30 and 39 are included in the same interval. This is greater than equals to 49. But this kind of data, we can't use it for any kind of histogram, because you will see the graph for the class interval histogram. We cannot use it. So anytime you are having non-continuous groups, you are going to convert it into continuous groups. Convert it into continuous groups. How are you going to convert it into continuous groups? Because you are talking about group data. So this part is very, very important. Mostly you will get continuous class interval, but in case sometime in median you can get non-continuous intervals. So you can convert your non-continuous groups or intervals, class intervals into continuous. What do we do? If you will see 19 to 20, the difference is 1 unit, right? So 1 unit you distribute here, see here, anything you take it, 30 minus 29, it is 1 unit, right? This difference is 1 unit. 39 to 49, 40, there is 1 unit difference. So what do you do in this case? You divide 1 by 2, 0.5, and we call this side, it is called lower limit and this is called upper limit. In lower class you must have learned. So what do you do? In lower limit you subtract 0.5 and in upper limit you add 0.5 to convert it into continuous group. So what are going to be your groups here now? 9.5 to here 19.5, right? Then here it will become 19.5 to 29.5, and here it will become 29.5 to 30, here 29.5 to here 39.5, and then here 39.5 to 49.5. Again here if you will see, the 19.5 will be excluded from this interval and included in the lower limit will be included and upper limit will be excluded. So now you have converted. So your sign is going to be less than, here it will be greater than equal. So this is the way. So whenever you are talking about group data, mostly you get this kind of data, but in case if you are having any non-continuous interval, then you have to first convert it into continuous interval, then you can use this data for histogram or calculating median or mean. Now here if you will see, there are some terms you should be aware. So first thing is class interval. Other than class interval, what are the some terminologies are there, and you should be aware about it here. So the first part, if you will see here, it is class width. What is the meaning of class width, or sometimes it is known as class size? Is the difference between the maximum and the minimum possible values in the class interval. This is class width, right? If I'm taking here class width, or sometime it is called as class size, it is always taken as here upper limit of the any class, because it is, you are talking about the uniform class width, right? So upper limit maximum value minus lower limit of the class interval, or the you can take it as maximum and minimum value of any class interval here, any class interval. Like here if I take, this is one of the class interval, which is 9.5 or 19.5 to 29.5. Now what is going to be the class width or class size here? If you are taking upper limit is 29.5 minus lower limit is 19.5, so you can see your class width is 10, right? Now but here if you did not convert it into continuous interval, what is your class width? You can see that 19 minus 10, which is 9. So this is going to give you the wrong value. So whenever you are taking class width or class size, we always consider the continuous class interval. If it is not in the continuous form, you need to convert it into continuous form. Other than that, if you will see here, range we have already seen. Whenever we are taking estimate the range from a grouped frequency, is the upper bound of the highest class interval minus lower bound of the lowest class interval. So what is the highest class interval? Upper bound if we are taking here minus lowest lower bound. So here if you will see, the values are in upper and lower bound. So the range whenever we are taking, this is the lowest value, lower bound of the first interval and upper bound of the last highest class interval. So what is that here? Range, whenever you are taking the grouped data, it is going to be upper bound here. I can write down here UB also. So you will take it here, upper bound of highest class interval minus lower bound of lowest class interval will give you the range. That means how the data is spread, how is the dispersion, you will get it. Then other than range, we are going to find out here what is the here how to calculate the modal class. Now modal class also you don't need to calculate. You will see here the highest frequency class interval. See, when the class widths are equal, now there can be unequal class widths also, but we are not going to take such data. You will always have your equal class width. That means your class width is uniform across the class interval. So whenever your class widths are equal, the modal class is the class containing the most data, means the highest frequency group class interval is known as the modal class. Now, after that, how do you find out the mean using the grouped data? Right here, mean of grouped data. So whenever you are having mean of grouped data, you are going to get the middle value of each class interval, right? So, and how the formula is going to be FIXI here. If I'm calculating mean, it is going to be sigma fx by sigma f. Then what is going to be your x here? X is nothing but the midpoint of each class interval, right? And I have written here sigma. That means if you don't want to use this formula, you can take it as sum of, whenever you are taking here this, you can use here mean is going to be equals to here sum of, because sigma or summation means, if you are taking writing in words, it is sum of, and in the bracket you need to take the mid interval value. Mid interval value means here the mid value of each class interval times mid interval value times frequency of the class interval. So here you are going to take respective frequency divided by total number of observation, or here total frequency here. Frequency means number of observations. So here it is total number of observations, right? So whenever we are taking here, whenever you are taking this, you need to remember this. First thing, whenever there is a grouped data, we'll take one example so that you will understand each point here. How are you going to use it here? It's written to calculate the estimate, the mean for the grouped frequency table, find the midpoint, or first you need to get the here midpoint or mid interval value of each class interval by adding the upper end. So what is going to be the midpoint here? One more thing, if you don't know here, if I'm taking the midpoint of class interval, I take here upper limit plus lower limit by 2, or lower limit plus upper limit by 2. That means here, if my class interval here, example, if the class interval is 10 to 20, right? Or sometime it will be written like this in the upper and lower bound form. So you know that the lower limit is 10 and upper limit is 20. So 10 plus 20 by 2, which is 15. So 15, you can see that also 15 falls in the middle of 10 and 20, exactly in the middle. So that times here, whenever you take frequency, then you will take all the respective interval in the similar way to calculate the mean using this formula. So here the grouped data, this is the formula also. If you want to take it here, this is the formula that you need to remember it. It's the same formula that I have written here. Now, if you to calculate the median for ungrouped data, you have made their box whisker plot where you have calculated lower quartile, upper quartile, and the median, which is Q1. The same thing here, that part you will do it using cumulative frequency curve. If you see here, a cumulative frequency curve is a graph with the upper class boundaries plotted on x-axis and cumulative frequency on y-axis. How do we use it? I'll tell you here. Whenever we, if you see here, we have taken the class interval. So for the median, we take only the upper limit or upper boundary of the class interval, and we take cumulative frequency of respective class interval. So I'll explain you along with one example. Then here the same 5 point summary, you can use it because there will be minimum value, maximum value, Q1, Q2, Q3, and you know that lower quartile is 25% of N. Now what is your N? If I'm taking here N as 100. So what is going to be your Q1? Q1 is 25 percentile of 100 observation, and you should remember 25 percentile is always 1/4. So 1/4 of 100 is going to be 25th value. 25th value is going to be your lower quartile using the graph on x-axis. Similarly, whenever we are taking Q2 in this, that's exactly in the middle. So 50% of the total observation we can take half of 100. That is going to be 50th value on the cumulative frequency. And Q3, which is the upper quartile, that is taken as 75 percentile. If I take it as X, then that is going to be here 75th value on the graph. So, and other than that, you can find out any percentile. If they say 20 percentile, you will take 20 by 100 of that total value, or 1/5 of the total value. So here also, if you'll see here, whenever there is cumulative frequency, we always use continuous data. For example, if it is there and this is there, then we can directly plot cumulative frequencies against the upper class boundary 40 and 45. But if data is non-continuous, first you need to take the upper limit. You need to change the class interval to the continuous interval. Then you will use it. So let us take one example and we'll solve this. Now you can see here, this is the question where you need to find out the cumulative frequency, because whenever we are calculating median, we have written here cumulative frequency curve. So curve will be made using cumulative frequency. So let us see here, how do we find out cumulative frequency first? If you will see here, the data is grouped. It's given here. The table shows the distance walked by members of a walking group in 1 week. So what is the distance here? Because there are 4 people who are walking 0 to 3 kilometer. Then here walking here 4 to 6 kilometer, 14 members. Then 7 to 9 kilometer, there are 6 members. Then 10 to 12 kilometer, 8 members. And 13 to 15, 4 members are there. So this is the frequency number of people who are walking. Cumulative frequency, this one you will take it as how many people are walking less than equals to 3 kilometer. So there are 4. But whenever you are going for the second one, here for the median, you are taking everything which is less than equals to 6. So you are taking the upper bound. Now, whenever we are taking less than equals to 6 kilometer, the 3 kilometer also falls into this category. That's why we add both, and we are getting here 18 members are there who are walking 6 or less kilometer. Now, similarly here, if I take less than 9 kilometer, so less than 9 will include 6 kilometer as well as 3. So you are going to add now these 3. That means you can add here 18 plus 6, which is 24. Similarly, less than equals to 12 will have all these 4 frequency you have to add it. So you can add here 24 plus 8, it is going to be 32, and here 32 plus 6, so 36 members are walking here. Everyone is walking less than or equals to 15 kilometers. So this is called cumulative frequency, where you are adding the frequency because you are taking only here upper bound. Here we are taking the upper and lower bound both. But whenever we are making cumulative frequency, we are considering only upper bound. Now what is given here? Copy complete. We have completed the table. Construct the cumulative frequency curve to represent this data. So what do? X-axis, you are going to take here distance, because our data is for the distance. It is given in kilometer, right? Distance D, which is given in kilometer. And on y-axis, instead of frequency, you are going to take here cumulative frequency. So the first upper bound, it is 3. So for 3 kilometer, how many members are walking here? It is total, this is 4. Then less than equals to 6, that's the upper limit, and you are going to use 18 members because that's a cumulative frequency. So above 6 you will go for here 18 less than equals to 9. If you are taking, there are 24 members. So slowly if you see, gradually it is increasing. So less than equals to 9, there are 24 members. Less than equals to 12, there are 32 members here. 32 people have walked less than or equals to 12 kilometer, and 15 kilometer it is 36 altogether, because 36 are the members. So at the end you will always get your the last interval here, the total members here, correct? Now to make the cumulative curve, you will start from zero, you will join point to point. It has to be a smooth curve here, then a curve. You will get this curve in your, generally any kind of question you will get this is called here, this is called cumulative frequency curve, because you are using here cumulative frequency to draw this graph. Now how do we calculate here median, estimate the median and quartiles? Quartiles means upper and lower quartile. So first you will do the construction. A part is done, B part is also done. Now how do we do it here? First you know that the median is going to be here Q2, which is 50 percentile of N. What is your N here? Total number of people, which is 36. Your last value is going to always give you here altogether how many number of observation is there. So half of 36, which is 18th value. Now 18th value, whenever you are taking, you will take here, because this is your cumulative frequency, right? So here you are going to make the line here and what is the respective corresponding value. So the median is going to be here 6 kilometer, because you will not write on 18 here. The data on x-axis is going to give you here all the other values. Now what is quartile here? If I'm talking about Q1, which is the lower quartile, which is 25 percentile, you can take it as 1/4 of 36. That means here it is going to be the ninth value. So ninth value is going to be here. If I'm taking on the graph, ninth value will be between 8 to 10 here. You will draw the line. So you are using this cumulative graph here to get the value, right? So here if you'll see, approximately it is 4 kilometers. So your lower quartile is going to be your 4 kilometer. Similarly, upper quartile, which is 75%, which you can take it as 3/4 of 36. Then that is 27th value, 27th member whenever you are taking cumulative frequency. So here what is going to be 27? Again, it is in the middle. If you'll use the technology, you will get the value here. Now, how many kilometer here going to get it? This is your Q3, this is your Q1, and the data on the x-axis is given in the kilometer. So this is 10 kilometer value is going to be your Q3. Using this, you can find out range and interquartile range. So what is the range? Range is part D here. Range, you always take the highest value minus lowest value. We have seen this. Range here, the lower bound of the smallest class interval and upper bound of the highest class interval. So what is the highest value here? 15 kilometer minus 0 kilometer. So this walking, it is there from 0 to 15 kilometer. Total it is 15 kilometer. Similarly here, if I'm finding here interquartile range, we can get it here Q3 minus Q1, which is 10 minus 4, that is 6 kilometer. So this is the way you use cumulative graph. Mostly this graph also they give you, but sometime using the cumulative frequency graph, they will ask you to make the box whisker plot. How can you make it here? Box whisker plot is going to be here, the lowest value it is 0, the highest value it is 15 kilometer. Now what is this here? If I'm taking this, the Q1 line, you can make it here, Q2 it is respective. See, under this only they are going to give you the value. So when you can make here the box which is going to represent here Q1, Q2, Q3, and you can join this. So sometimes they give you using cumulative frequency graph to make the box whisker plot. So this is your minimum value, this is your maximum value. So if it for ungrouped data or for group data, both you can make box whisker plot. But box whisker plot, if you are making here, you will use the cumulative frequency graph. Now, this is the next question. What is given here? If you will see, again, the group data is given already. And here, if it is, we are taking here right on the modal class. So, sometime you get 1 mark this question as finding the modal class. Now, modal class is the class interval with the highest frequency, not the cumulative frequency, because cumulative frequency will be highest in the last interval. Here you have to check among 4, 6, 8, 6, 6. So this is the highest frequency. So what is the respective class here? Modal class is going to be 1.40 less than x. So here also the upper limit, upper bound is included here because it is the cumulative graph, right? Now after this, if I need to find out what is the class interval that contains median. So we don't need to draw here median cumulative to calculate the median. We just need to find out how what is going to be the class. So for this also we need cumulative frequency here. Now if I'm taking cumulative frequency, you know everything less than equals to 1.30, it is 4. Then everything less than 1.40 will be 10 because you keep adding to the previous to the next frequency, the previous cumulative frequency to next. So next one will be 18, which is everything less than equals to 1.5. Then here everything less than equals to 1.60. 18 plus 6 will be 24, and everything less than equals to 1.7 is going to be here 30. So altogether there are 30 students, right? Now 30, if I take it here, the median n is 30. Now because it is a group data, if I take here 30 by 2, the 15th values is going to be here. That is going to be your median. So you look at the class cumulative frequency, right? Not the frequency. Now 0 to 4, 1 to 4 frequency will fall here in the first interval. 5th to 10th will be in the second interval. Then here 11th to 18th is going to be on this interval. So what is the median class here? Median class is also here. It is not the highest frequency. You will see here because the data from 11th to 18th students will have the 15th student data. So that is going to be also 1.40 less than equals to x, it is 1.5, right? So median class is this. That means the median is going to fall between 1.4 and 1.5. Now in this question, because we did not see here how to calculate the mean of group data, so I'll take this question only to calculate the median mean also of group data. So let us take this. How do we calculate if I need to find out? There is one extra question here which says that I have to find out the mean from group data. So third one here, find the arithmetic mean or mean. So what was the value here? If you remember here, we have learned you need to find out the midpoint of the class interval. If you remember this, we have taken here, see here, the mid-interval value into frequency by total number of observations. So here, what is going to be the mid-value from the data? That means that's called xi. The what do we take it here? Class mid-value. If you are taking here mid-value of the interval, if I take it, we always take lower limit plus upper limit, lower bound plus upper bound by 2. So the first class interval 1.2 plus 1.3 by 2, it is going to be 1.25. And you can see that also 20 and 30, it is going to be 25, 1.25. Then here it will be 1.35. What is the mid value of 1.40 to 1.50? It will be 1.45. This is 1.55. This is 1.65, right? Now, how do I calculate the mean here? You will multiply the respective mid value with its frequency, because here 1.25 is coming 4 times plus 1.35 6 times plus 1.45 8 times plus 1.55 6 times plus 1.656 times by total number of observation means it is going to be total frequency, which is 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6, and altogether it is 30. Now you have to do the calculation and you have to get it here. If I'm taking this, it's coming here 5 plus 1.3 values are done, 1.55 into 6 is coming here, plus 9.3 plus 1.65 times 6, it's coming 9.9, and divided by, you can take it here, divided by 30, because 30 students are there. Altogether it is 30, and if you add this 9 by 30 and if you divide by 30, you are getting here. Now you have to remember, whenever you are writing answer, it should have always three significant figure. For the terminating decimal, you will write down all the values, or here you can write down three significant figure as 1.46, right? Now here height is 1.46, so average height of the students centimeter, right? So this is the way you are going to find out the mean whenever the group data class interval is given, when your data is grouped. Let's solve some exam based questions. Now this is your past paper question here. So these are exam based questions. So first you should know, whenever there is a statistics, the marks allotted will be 10 to 20 marks, right? Mostly it will be 19 marks. So here it's a 9-mark question, it's given here. It's based on cumulative frequency graph, shows the weights of female and male Persian cats. So data is about male and female Persian cats. Weights measures are given in the kilogram. Now here if you will see, the red color graph is given for the female Persian cat, and here green color graph is given for the male Persian cat, right? So what do we need to find out here? Calculate the percentage of female cat that weighs at least 4 kg. Now, if I need to find out at least 4 kg, you can see that the weight is given on x-axis and cumulative frequency is on y-axis. So, at least 4 kgs means it will be greater than equals to 4 kg. So, first you mark on the graph here, this point is representing here 4 kg, which is nothing but, if you take this value, this is here, if you will take this, what will be the coordinate here? For 4 kg, it is between 600 and 700, it is 650. That means all the Persian here, female cat, from 650 to 800, it will be more than weight, more than 4 kg. So here, you can take it here, 800 minus 650, which is going to be 150 cats are having weight more than 4 kg. If you use the technology, you will be able to see these lines here. You need to draw, and you will show the intersection. It's coming this. So this part is going to have greater than equals to 4 kg weight, right? What is the next question here? This is of another 4-marker question here, which is given as, use the graph to determine the missing values on the following table. So you need to find out here lower quartile. Female, it's already given, you need to find out for the male, and you know that lower quartile is 25%, and which is 1/4 of total weight. Here what is the cumulative frequency? 800 cats, right? So here it is 800, which is going to be 200 cat value. So here if I take it here, 200 value, if you will see, it is here, and this is what is the weight here? It is going to be 1 kg, right? So your this one in kg, what is going to be the lower quartile weight of the Persian cat? It is 1 kg. It's already given, so you are going to enter only one. Now median is also given for the female cat. You need to find out for the male cat. Now median is 50 percentile, right? Now here the number of cats, male cats are also here, total it's 800, so 50% of 800 is going to be 400th value here. So 400th value on the male, this graph, if I take it here, this is intersecting here. So this one 4 kg is going to become your Q3. This is Q1 and that is Q3. This is median, not this one. This is Q2, right? That is Q1, Q2, because we are calculating here Q2 as the 400th value here. So all 400 value, it is median is going to be 4 kg. You will mention here 4 kg. Now upper quartile, 75 percentile, and that means 3/4 of 800. If I take it, it's a 600 value. But this one we need to find out for the female Persian cat. So take the 600 value in this chart here. If I'm taking this, I can use this graph also. So this is 600 value here. If you are taking on the graph, it is going somewhere in the middle, right here. If you'll use the technology, you'll be able to do it. So it is around 3.7 to 3.8. You will get to see exact value when you're using those graphs. Then interquartile range, you know that interquartile range is going to be your IQR is always upper quartile minus lower quartile. So here upper quartile is 2.4, and here if I take here 3.8, it is going to be 1.4 kg, and here 5.9 minus 1, it will be 4.9 kg. Now, after this, you will see here there is a comparison. In the next part, there is a comparison based on this. So, if I take it, what is given here, because whenever we are having this kind of question, there will be comparison using information from the table, right on the missing statistical terms in the following statement. Now, here the dash is larger for the male cats, therefore, the male cats are in general heavier than the female cats. So, for this, you are going to always consider median, because you can see that the median here it is 4 kg, here it is 3.1 kg. So this shows that most of them, the male cats are heavier than, because the mid value is higher. Then the dash is larger for the male cats. Therefore, the weights of male cats are more dispersed than the weight of female cats. So here in this case, we take interquartile range, because here if you see interquartile range is 4.9 and here it is 1.4 kg. So in general, it is more dispersed than the weight of female cat. So this is done. Let us take one more question here. This is the next question here. If you'll see, the weightage is given 19 marks. So what is given here? Buildings designed for apartment living provide homes for many individuals and families within a defined space. The table below shows information about the number of residents in each age group in a building. Right. So here the age group is given from 0 to 60 years old. So what is given here? Number of residents here. It's first interval till 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50, 60. These are the different categories. What is the first question? It says, write down the modal class of the age of the residents. And modal class means it is going to be highest frequency class interval. Now, among all these frequency, you see 126 number of residents is the highest frequency. So the respective class is going to be here. The modal class is going to be 30 to 40 here, right? Then after that, what do we need to find out here? The second part, you need to calculate the arithmetic mean, means you need to find out mean only. Now it is a group data. We have discussed how do we calculate the mean here. You need to find out the mid value of all the class intervals. So what is going to be the mid value here? 0 to 10, 0 plus 10 by 2, which is going to be 5. 10 plus 20 by 2, which is going to be 15. Then here 25, 35, 45, and here 55. And you need to multiply with the respective frequency. So it is 5 into 59 plus 15 times 72 plus here 25 times 54 plus 35 times 126 plus 45 times 15 plus 55 times here 5 divided by total frequency. It's already known 331, so directly I can write on here 331, and if you calculate, you will get the average here by here 331, and if you take the sum, it comes as 8085 divided by 331. That means here how many approximately residents? It's coming it as 20. The age group we are going to get it here. It's coming 24.1 years, which is approximately here 24 years. So 24.1 year, that is going to be your average here. Now, after that, here 6C, what we need to calculate here, it says that the building also provides an opportunity for the residents to come together as a community in a recreational area. So it's a play area, entertainment area is divided into children playground and a fitness center. So there are two parts in this recreational area, right? So what is this here? If you will see here, it's given there are two playground is for under 14 whereas if you will see the fitness center is above 14 years, right? The residents in the group in the age group 10 to 20 years are in the ratio of 7 and 7 is to 2. We need to show that 115 children are allowed in the playground. So for the playground, if I'm taking here, playground, if I'm taking, the age has to be here less than or equals to 14. So it is not only between 10 to 14. If I'm taking 0 to 10 also, that also will be included. And 10 to 20 also, because 15 to 20 years they are not allowed. So here you will first get it here how many residents are having the people age between 0 to 10 to 14. So the total frequency it was given as 72. So you can get it here 10 to 14 years old children. How are you going to get it here? 7 out of 9 parts, because 7 plus 2, 9 parts of 72. If I do it here, this is going to be 56 children are there who are from 10 years, 11 years to 14 years. And if I'm taking the number of children between here, this is 0, it can't be, it's greater than 0 and less than equals to 10. It's already here given as in the, it's a 59. So altogether, how many students, how many children are going to be there who can play, you use that area? It is 59 plus 56, that is going to be 115 children are allowed, they can use that playground. Right, so this is your second part here. So again, number system topic is included here. Now after that, what is given here? You are responsible for making calculation for the recreational area in order to stay within the allocated budget. So what is given here? Annual fee is given per apartment and there are 90 apartments. So first you are going to take here total annual fee that is collected from all the 90 apartments, right? So here it is going to be total 1400 times 90, which is going to be here 14 times 9, it is going to be $126,000, right? This is there, this much money is collected. Now among this, because different, it is allocated into different part. If you see recreational area, there is a 15% fund allocated, right? So you can take here total 15% of total money. If I take it, I'll get it how much money is available for recreational area. So do that calculation here, divided by 100. If I take it, $18,900 it is available for that maintenance of that area. See, residents pay an annual fee which provides the budget to pay for maintenance of the building. So we are taking this, based on this they can take any of the other area and they can ask you to calculate the values. Now here, if you'll see in this part of the question, there are 10 marks given here. Again, you need to write on all the description. What is given here? The maintenance budget and the maintenance cost need to balance for the recreational area, right? We already saw there is a 15%, this one budget and cost it's given. Now, what is the criteria here given here? If you are taking this, if I see this, the mostly maintenance cost of the recreational area is calculated using the information given in the playground and the fitness tab below. What is given here? The playground requirement here, it's a 15 square meter for every 6 children. That means per children need is going to be 15 by 6 square meter for one child, right? Here monthly maintenance cost is $2 per square meter, right? So for every 1 square meter you are going to get it here $2. Then here this area is only for 14 years and under 14 years children. Then after that, fitness is monthly maintenance cost of the fitness center above 14 year. It's a $200 number of users in fitness year. It's a $200 if there are 1 to 100, then it is $600 if there are 100, 1 to 200 users, then $1,200 if there are 200, 1 to 300, until 400 it is $2,000. Now what is given here? What do you need to answer? Use the result from earlier part of the information provided. To what extent is the maintenance budget suitable for the recreational area? In your answer, you should. So you need to write down three relevant factors, and then you have to do all the calculation and justification. So mostly here, three relevant factor can be 2 marker, then all the calculation can be 4 to here 5 marks you can have it, so 7, and then again justification and the reasoning it can be 2 to 3 marks, correct? So here how are we going to do it? Here you need to first write down three relevant factor for which is going to impact the maintenance and the uses of the fitness center. So what is the first one here? So you can write down here in the answer, you need to type in this area, okay? So this one here, three factors, three relevant factors. So you need to write down minimum three. You can write down more than three also, but minimum three are required because they have mentioned here three. So what can be the first factor here? You know that number of children, definitely it's going to number of how many children are there using playground, that matter. So here number of children, because the area is also given here, using playground, right? Going to playground, it matters here. The maintenance cost will be based on that. Then here, for the fitness center, number of adults going to fitness center. So here number of adults using fitness center, that is can be the second factor. Based on that, you are going to decide the maintenance budget you are allocating based on that, right? So fitness center 15 square meter area is given, so that is also one of the factor here needed, because there will be some specific area. One, it's to one child area, it's going to be 15 by 6 square meter. So here you can take the third factor as here needed area uh, per child per square meter, right? That also can be one of the factor. And then at the end, definitely, because here the cost is given here, so what can be the fourth factor here? Cost. So out of these four, three you must write down. Now here it's second part, it is given make calculation for the playground, make calculation for the total maintenance and cost of recreational area, show suitable rounding to working and result. Here also 1 to 2 marks will be given in your calculation, and justify the suitability of the maintenance budget for the recreational area. This also can be 1 to 2 marks. So your marks will be divided among these, 10 marks will be given here. Now here, when I need to do the calculation here, calculation for the playground. So first I need to know the number of children who will go, who will use playground, and how many adults 14 or above number of people are going to use the fitness center. So here we have already, if you remember, we have already calculated 115 children who are going to use the playground, and the remaining, if you will find out number of people who are going to use fitness center, you will subtract from 331. So first here you will take it here, number of children going to use playground, right? Because based on that we have to find out, make the budget. So playground, it's 115. So 14 years and above can use here fitness center. It's going to be here 331 minus 115. If you are taking that, we will get it as 331 minus 115. We will get it as 216. So for these many people, you need to find out the maintenance cost. So how will you do it here? First, if I'm taking here, because it's given 15 square meter per 6 students, right? So here you know that 15 square meter here. So first calculation, It can be here 15 square meter is for 6 children. And we are having here 115 children, right? So can I find out for one child how much area will be required here? One child, it will be 15 by 6 square meter. Now here, if I'm taking this for 115 children, if I take it, you'll do again multiplication 15 by 6 into 115. Then here, if I take 115 into 15 divided by 6, you are going to get it as here 287.5 square meter area. Now this much area is needed for 115 children, but here it's written $2 per square meter. So cost is $2 per square meter. So the total cost that is going will go for the maintenance will be 2 into 287.5. Now here, because it is everywhere, it is coming it as 575, which is going to be approximately here it will be $600. 515 divided by 6 divided by here, you can take it as here 6, so we will get it here 19.1, right? This much approximately times 15, if you do it, you are going to get it the same value. You can do either this or you can do this also. So it's up to you. So approximately if you will take it here, it will be $600 per month. Because if you will see here, this is given maintenance, monthly maintenance cost, right? So you need to find out your calculation for the total maintenance cost and cost of recreational area. So first we got the playground. Now we have to find out how much will be the maintenance charges for fitness center, right? So for fitness center, if I take it here, fitness center, now fitness center, how many people are going to can use here fitness center? 216 members. Now look at your graph, 216 members. It is going to be $1,200 per month, right? This is here, it is how many members are there? 216 members. So therefore it is going to be $1,200 per month, right? So what is going to be yearly cost if we are taking here, because the maintenance is going to be here, yearly maintenance cost 600 for the playground for 12 months, plus here 1200 for 12 months. Then you will get here the total cost 600 into 12, you will get it as $7,200 plus 144 here 14,400. Cost is coming as $21,600, correct? Now you can take it here. Other than that, get the total cost here. So this is also possible. I can take exactly 7,570. You can do three significant figure here, rounding off here to the nearest value into 12, plus you can take here 1200 times 12 also. So this value is going to be fixed here. This value may change. So any answer here 575 into 12 also, if you take it here, it is coming 6,900 plus 14,000. So this much they need to keep it. It's coming it as 21,300. So there is only $300 difference between these two. This is going to be the calculation of their, here show up rounding in your working and result. So I have done rounding off if you are doing it, maintenance and total cost for the per year also you got it. Now here if you will see, we have taken here the cost total. It was recreational area, it was given allocated fund was 15%, which is 18,900, and here the budget was given here. Budget was, so this is your justification part. You can take it under justification. you need to justify whatever they have done it here, whether it is suitable or not, because they are spending some money and they are doing the collection and doing the allocation of the budget, right? So budget, if I'm taking here, it was 15%, which one was coming as 18,900, whereas the total expenditure is 21,600, or if you take the minimum, it is 21,300. So this is less than, if I take the maximum here, 21,600. That means here this is the budget, whatever allocation is doing, they are doing it. It is not maintenance cost, should not exceed the budget. So it is not good, right? So here you can write down maintenance cost exceeds the budget, which is not good, right? Now if I need to find out here how much they have to allocate, so you can see here monthly how much is the expenditure here, $1,200 and $600. So here the monthly, if I'm taking here, monthly cost is coming as 600 plus 1,200, which is 1,800, and divided among 90 flats, 90 apartments. So $20 should be allocated for the maintenance here, for the maintenance of the recreational area. The yearly budget also, it is not good. It should reach minimum to this based on the cost. That's called justification. You will justify whatever the allocated fund is there, it is suitable or not. So hope you got this.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, keep practicing.